Support this podcast via our Patreon and get more writerly goodness. Visit patreon.com/nanocast to join up.
Welcome to The Questions, Episode 55.
Today, JR asks, do you have any pre-writing rituals you do to help? Well, I kinda do. There's a few different sorts. I've got rituals that I do to keep me in a particular groove for a particular story. Like when I'm writing Suave Rob, I will watch nature documentaries and the endless summer and adventure films like crazy. My entire fictional diet will consist of fun, raucous adventure, because that's what I'm writing, and staying in that headspace in an infectious way is very good for me when I'm writing a character like Suave Rob, who's always up at volume 10, and is enough different from me that I have to stretch a little to get there. When I'm doing Antithesis, I'll be down deep in the spy fiction. I'll be listening to a lot of lectures on geopolitics. I'll listen to a lot of classical music. My music selection has a whole lot to do with this too. Suave Rob is rock and roll. Clark Lantham is rock and roll and jazz. The Antithesis, or the Mannix books as they're going to be retitled, are all about the classical music and the dark prog rock from the 1970s, and sometimes a little Australian heavy metal around the edges. Whatever it is, it's moody stuff, and that's what gets my juices flowing through for that. When it comes to just the bare writing habits, my ritual basically consists of a glass of iced tea. I get a fresh glass of iced tea when I sit down to write. I sit down. Frequently, I will distract myself through doing email for a lot longer than I should, but I'll sit down and eventually I'll settle down and write, and the iced tea is the thing. I drink a lot of the stuff. I love it. It's my favorite beverage in the world. I can't understand all you people in the South who put sugar in it and ruin it. And that's the ritual. I mean, it's not elaborate. I've had more elaborate ones in the past. Like, there was a while where I always used to do a sword form or a sparring session with my bokken or my shinai or my samurai swords. I was really big into Bushido for a while. There was a while where I would always walk or work out before I wrote. I find that as I've gotten older, I can't do that anymore. I still walk or work out, but I get such a runner's high now that I sit down to the computer after an intense bit of exercise and go, oh, life is so floaty and wonderful. And that seemed to change around the time I was 35. I'm told that that's kind of normal. But for me, mostly it's about quieting down the head, sitting down in my chair, being in the comfortable, familiar writing space, hearing the waves on the beach just across the street, drinking my iced tea. And I suppose the other ritual is I pop back 500 to 1,000 words, sometimes a full chapter if I'm a little lost, and read through what I did yesterday, loading it back into my head, adjusting little things here and there as I go, so that I hit the end of the text block running and keep going. Unless I've got a really hot idea, in which case I just do a couple line breaks at the end and go off on whatever it was that I had in my head, write it all down, and then worry about where it goes in the story later on. I'm one of those, I write both in order and out of order, depending on how the mood strikes me. Your writing rituals will differ depending on who you are. For a lot of people, it's coffee. For some people, it's music. For some people, it's a walk with the dog or a play session with the cat. For Douglas Adams, it was a warm bath. Whatever it is that sort of gets you into the groove works, and rituals are a good way to do it. Developing the things that signal to your mind and body, okay, it's time to write now. It's a really good idea. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I'll see you tomorrow.
NaNoWriMo Every Month is written and presented by J. Daniel Sawyer and produced by Artistic Whispers Productions. Visit our website at nanowrimoeverymonth.com and leave a tip in the tip jar or join the Patreon to support this podcast. NaNoWriMo Every Month is copyright 2016 by J. Daniel Sawyer and Artistic Whispers Productions and is released under a Creative Commons Non-Commercial Attribution No Derivatives license.